Good morning. It is time for just a word from the Word. This morning's verse comes from 2 Samuel 9, verse 13. So Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem, for he did eat continually at the king's table, and was lame on both of his feet. You might remember the story very quickly. King David had a best friend named Jonathan. King David had a father-in-law, King Saul, who happened to be King David's worst enemy. When the Lord avenged King David of his enemy, both King Saul and David's best friend Jonathan were killed in battle. Jonathan did have a son by the name of Mephibosheth. When his nursemaid got news that Jonathan was dead, she ran away, taking Mephibosheth with her, but as she was running, apparently she dropped Mephibosheth, and however hard that fall was, Mephibosheth became lame in both of his feet. Now, fast forward several years, Mephibosheth is now a grown man. King David has been king for quite some time, and he wants to go and find if he can show kindness and mercy to his best friend Jonathan. Finds that Jonathan did still have a son that was alive by the name of Mephibosheth, and there's an awful lot of history and culture and all that stuff that goes on behind the scenes. One thing I do need to point out is that when a new dynasty would take place in that culture, the new dynasty would kill off everybody from the old dynasty. King David did not do that. He allowed Mephibosheth to live, and in fact gave Mephibosheth back all of his property. Everything that he had lost, David restored. This was unheard of in David's day and in his culture, but he did it. And he even went a step further. You might know the story, and I read it this morning in 2 Samuel 9. David not only restored all of Mephibosheth's land to him and sent people there to work the land, to bring food off of the land, David took care of Mephibosheth, but he did something completely unheard of. Even though Mephibosheth was lame, he was broken, he just didn't have it all together. King David took somebody who was rejected and should have been dead and brought him into the king's house to sit at the king's table so he could enjoy the king's food. As I've pondered this story for really the last couple of weeks, I cannot help but see the grace and the mercy that David extended to Mephibosheth. And I also can't help but to think about the grace that God extends to us. So if you're broken today, if you're hurting today, know that the King of Kings, the Lord Jesus, has his arms open wide and he says, I'll cover your brokenness. I'll cover your hurt. I'll cover your pain. Come eat at my table. You see, Jesus has made room for you. And I guess that's the story of Amazing Grace, that despite our flaws, despite our mistakes, despite our propensity for sin, God forgives us, he cleans us up, he invites us to come eat at his table, and he makes room for us. That is Amazing Grace, and this has just been a word from the Word. Have a beautiful day.